on, Home and Family. Confidence expert Heather Monahan tells us how to stand up and get exactly what we want.
Welcome back, everyone. She is a keynote speaker, an entrepreneur, and the founder of Boss in Heels.
Yep.
What a great name, which empowers women in the workplace and beyond. Today, she is here to help us ask for what we want and actually get it, ladies. Welcome back, our friend Heather Monahan. Welcome.
Welcome back, Heather.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thanks for having me. We are so excited. As you can see,
Yes.
we're all lined up.
Yeah. We want to know.
Yeah, we want to know everything. So in your book, Confidence Creator, you share your own journey to self-confidence, and you say it really all began with a question your son asked you. What happened?
So I have an 11-year-old. At the time, he was 9, and he came out in the morning. We're running around getting ready for school, 6:30 in the morning. And he said, "Mom, I need you to write something on my shoe." I said, "Yeah, great. Hurry up. We're late."
Right.
And he brought me a Sharpie. And I said, "What am I writing?" And he said, "You can do all things."
Oh my goodness. At 9?
At 9. And when
Amazing.
I said, "Wait a minute, why am I writing this?" He said, "Mom, you can start the basketball game feeling really confident, but I might not play real well in the first quarter. And I need to come back to the bench and remember I can do all things."
Oh my God.
Isn't that so poignant from a 9-year-old?
I mean,
and
wow.
it's honestly, the kids say the darndest things, but sometimes if you just
No.
sit back and listen, your children will teach you.
Yeah,
the
we can
lessons
learn a
you
lot
need to
from
know.
our kids. For
That's
sure.
exactly it. And
Yes.
so I now always have a message on the bottom of my heels.
What does it say?
Well, it's either I can or I will, because I wrote both, depending on which shoe. But I always write something. Maybe it's I love me or I've got this. But little notes to myself so that, like my son, I can look right before I'm going to go on air and say, "Oh yeah, I can and I
You
will."
got this. You got this. You certainly do. That's for
Got
sure.
a Sharpie. I got it.
And it's better than writing it on your hand. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Exactly. Exactly. Well, we all got questions for sure. But you know what, Deb? You kick things off. You start with a question.
All right, so there's a long time ago, someone had said to me, stop saying I'm sorry and start saying I apologize. I'm sorry is putting it on you like, I'm sorry, and you're self-conscious, whether you know it or not, hears that. So why are you so sorry? Say, I apologize, and then it kind of makes an equal playing field. But you've taken it a step further. In this book, you say, no, don't even say I apologize. Say thank you.
Right.
How do you do that? Yeah.
It's really powerful, and it's just through practice, because I definitely always said I'm sorry myself until I realized I was putting myself beneath others, exactly like you described, putting others up on a pedestal and me beneath them. I started with "excuse me," which was a huge revelation, believe it or not. Sounds so simple. But when people would bump into me, I said, "excuse me," and I felt better about myself. And then we took it a step further. And going in late to a meeting, I used to say, "I'm so sorry, everyone." Didn't matter if I was the boss or not. I would go in and apologize profusely. These days, I walk in and say, "Thank you so much, everyone, for your patience. Let's begin."
Yeah.
And it
Big
puts
difference.
you in a power position.
But it also makes them feel like they're
Right.
important.
It does, absolutely, because you're thanking them.
Yeah.
Right.
A little gratitude going on.
And believe it or not, it's small, but it makes all the difference.
It does. It does. And we want to get to everybody's questions. Larissa, you're up next.
Okay, yes. So I have a very hard time being direct and asking for what I want, because I always feel like it comes off rude, especially a woman being very direct. And my mom was excellent at being direct. And I used to watch other people look at her, and I thought, oh, she kind of comes across mean. I never want to be like that. So I'm always tiptoeing around things. How do I ask for what I want and not come across rude?
You know, the first thing, especially where you have that affiliation with your mom, you're seeing her that way. Who's a woman, maybe sitting at this couch, that you see as very strong, yet not being rude? Is there someone sitting here like that?
Maybe.
Okay, so what you might want to do is start thinking of her when you're walking into a situation instead of thinking of your mom. That's going to help you reframe it in a positive light, that actually standing up for myself and being confident is a beautiful thing and a really positive thing. So first and foremost, do that. But secondly, you can start really small. So you're at Starbucks, and maybe every morning you're getting cut in front of, and you say, "Excuse me, I guess you didn't see me. I'm right here. Could you go behind me, please?" And it's a little tiny pivot to say, I'm worth more, and I need to be acknowledged, and you should.
I like that. Okay.
And it'll give you self-confidence.
And you don't have to do it in a rude way, like just like you said.
No.
Just be like nice and simple.
No.
That's
And
great
yeah, and
example.
it'll make people respect you too.
Yeah.
Don't allow people to, you're not a doormat, Larissa.
I know. I'm not a doormat.
You're not. Now, I know you have a question, Paige.
Well, I kind of wanted to hop on that too, because I work in construction, so a lot of times, it's all guys.
Do not look like you work in construction. I mean, whoa.
I know.
Sorry.
It's more fun. But you come across like a kind of like a guy, so then I end up going like general. and not really focusing on what I really want. And I don't know how to ask for what I really want, how to even make that focus. It's like, okay, then what do I really want? And I don't know how to narrow that down. Because I want to live in this house I'm in forever. Yeah. But how? Like, what happens?
What's that next step?
Yeah.
So those that deal in specifics seldom fail. Those that deal in generalities seldom succeed. And that can be a new mantra for you. You know, write that everywhere. If that's your challenge right now, to really hone in and manifest that for yourself. I'm going to start dealing with specifics. So I'm making this up. You don't need to lose weight. However, if that was a goal for you, you don't say, I want to lose weight. You say, in the next 60 days, my plan is to lose 10 pounds. That boils down to X amount of calories per day. You have a very specific goal-oriented plan and vision, and you weigh in daily. It doesn't have to be any different for business. So I was in corporate America for 20 years, and we'd put our annual plans together, and we dealt in granular specifics. It wasn't, let's raise revenues. It was revenue increases are 7% for Q1, 10% for Q2. Here's how we're going to do it. We're going to double our staff on the sales force. We're going to increase our products. Here's the plan. And you start breaking out different plans around each finite goal that you have. Create that goal, create the vision, give yourself a deadline and a timeline, and really just take ownership of those specifics.
Yeah, that's
Love it.
great.
Great answer.
That
Kimmy,
is so good.
we want to get to you too. What's your question?
So mine is, speaking of specifics, you know, I've just been through a pretty big journey and want to think about writing a book, but I'm a little bit like, you know, I've written beauty stuff, but this is a whole different arena. Maybe I'm not quite worthy. I don't have a bestseller. I don't have a big writing background, or whatever it happens to be that you want, but you may feel that you're not worthy or you don't really have the experience, so just don't bother.
You're so asking the right person about this one. I'm so excited, you guys.
Oh, good.
So my whole life, I was in the sales lane.
Yeah.
Heather's a social one. I wasn't the intellectual. I wasn't a writer.
Yeah.
I didn't major in English in school, and I was good at sales. Stay there.
Yeah.
Then I got fired, right? So when I got fired, I picked my head up for the first time ever in my career and said, okay, I'm supposed to be in this lane, but I'd really like to write a book. And I thought, how do I go from sales executive to author? And I went back and forth. And finally, you know what I decided? I had been accepting others' self-limiting beliefs about me and what they told me I was.
That's huge.
So I decided in that moment, I'm going to hand that back to them. They can have that back. Thank you. Again, I'll thank them. Thanks for telling me I belong in sales. Thank you for noticing I'm good at it. However, what they don't know about me yet is I'm Heather Monahan, and I can take my unique skill set and I can blow up those lanes and go wherever I want. And the irony is, and I so want you to know this, I didn't know if I could do it. It was the scariest thing professionally I've ever done. My book came out, Trump for #1 in business biographies. Whoa! Remember, I'm not an English person. I'm not a literary person. I've never written anything. And now when you Google me, after a 20-year major career in corporate America, I show up as an author, not an executive, not a salesperson.
I love that.
Imagine what you can do. Imagine what you can do.
Heather,
And you
for
know
all
what?
this great insight.
You get to write your own story, ladies.
Absolutely.
We write
Absolutely.
them.
For more on Heather and how you can create your confidence, visit heathermonahan.com, everybody. Great stuff, Heather. Thank you.